Hi, I'm Steve from Toys in the Hood. Today I'm going to take a look at the Astra Militarum Codex. That's the new Imperial Guard Codex from Games Workshop. It's going to be quite a quick look. I wasn't expecting to do a review at all, but I've borrowed this off a friend as I'm preparing for a doubles tournament in 2 weeks. So if you're at the Battle Brothers at Warhammer World at the end of April, I'll see you there. We'll be going with Imperial Guard with Imperial Knight allies. So this is the new Codex, hardback, full colour, new artwork on the front. We've seen all this before. Nice full spread as we open it up. Okay, Astra Militarum, the Imperial Guard. I guess they've changed the name because Imperial Guard isn't copyrighted. Astra Militarum, Games Workshop can copyright and they can protect their IP with it. The same goes for Tempestus Militarum. That's not a common word, whereas Stormtroopers are. So here we go. Produced by the Games Workshop Design Studio, the normal group of playtesters, Nick Baton, John Bracken, Eddie Eccles. These are guys who you'll see at Black Library events. You'll also see them at the Warhammer World events. Nick's the head of Warhammer World there. So lots of full colour art. We've come to expect this. Lots of background. There's the a breakdown of the military of the Imperial Guard. Lots of recoloured artwork. Okay, things like this. I say a fair bit of artwork that's familiar. I think this is the old Codex Codex cover. There's that was from the Battle for Armageddon. This is quite nice. This is 8 of the main legions. All of which used to have models at some point. So you've got the Talons, the Vostroyan Firstborn, Armageddon Steel Legion, Mordian Iron Guard, Death Corps Krieg, Valhalla Ice Warriors, First and Only, and then the Elysian Drop Troops. They're all available from either Forge World or they have been available from the workshop. I guess the only one that's missing are the Praetorian Guard. There's no sign of those there. Very small text, very good actually. It's just a simple bit of text, but it manages to really capture the flavour of each regiment. It's very good, that part. More background with various battles. This is kind of very much what we normally see, and now we get to the rules section. So first off, we've got the special rules. Special rules are pretty straightforward. Heavy weapon teams, they're now treated as a single model with a bulky rule, which it's basically a simple way of saying they count as one man, but bulky means they occupy 2 spaces. However, it means they only gain 1 additional attack for charging. They only count as 1 model for morale checks. So there's a bit of a downside with that as well. There's then new warlord traits. Warlord traits are Grand Strategist, D3 units gain outflank. Old Grudges, you choose a 40k codex. This is done while you're setting up. So, you then have the preferred enemy special rule for the warlord and his unit against all enemies from that codex. Draconian Discipline, which is all friendly units within 12 inches do not take morale checks for suffering 25% or more casualties. Implacable Determination, the warlord and his unit have relentless special rule. Bellowing Voice, the warlord has the Voice of Command special rule. Voice of Command lets you give orders. If you've already got the Voice of Command, then you can issue orders to within 18 inches rather than 12 inches. And then the Master of Command either gives you the Voice of Command rule, which is cool for commissars and Primaris Psychers and things. They don't have that. So if one of those ends up as your warlord, then they will gain the Voice of Command and be able to give orders. And so, if you've already got it, you can give an additional order each turn. There's a thing you can have a tank commander as a warlord. If you have a tank commander, you only roll a D3 on this chart, which means you can only have outflank, preferred enemy, or the morale test for 25%. I think for me, I like for the tank commanders, preferred enemy seems rather good. So, Voice of Command special rules. These are basically the same as they were before. You make a leadership test. You give an order. The unit gets that ability for that shooting phase. So take aim. You get to shoot and you get precision shot for a unit. Smite at will. all of the unit gets split fire. Sorry, the unit gets split fire. So you can split off your heavy weapons, so your las cannon can go for the tanks, whereas your las guns can go for the basic men. I really like that as an ability, because it means that those infantry squads that normally sit around doing nothing and just become 8 extra wounds for your heavy weapon team, they've now got a use in the game. They can now actually take part, which is it's really cool actually. First rank fire, second rank fire, we've seen this before. When they shoot, all las guns or hot shot las guns gain an additional dice, additional shot. Forwards for the Empire, you get a shooting attack and you must then run. So basically giving Imperial Guard battle focus like the Eldar. Move, 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 you can run, and the unit must run, and when they do this they roll 3 dice and choose the highest result. It's alright, but I can't see it being used as often as the other abilities. And then finally suppressive fire, which gives a unit pinning for all of its shooting that turn. So these 6 can be given by any officer. These 3 here can be given by senior officers. So senior officers are the HQ choices. There's Bring It Down, which gives you a shooting attack with tank hunters and monster hunter. Fire on my target gives ignore cover to a unit, so that's pretty phenomenal. Las cannons that ignore cover, or auto cannons that ignore cover, are going to be rather good. And then Get Back in the fight, which automatically allows a unit to regroup. We've got the company command. This is pretty much the same as it was before. The company commander can use the special orders, and also he can give 2 orders each turn. Oh, I think the chain of command is no longer an issue. Yeah, the chain of command is no longer an issue, so you just make a leadership test, and you can do your commands in any order. Regimental advisors, you can have an astropath, which is a psyker. You can have the artillery bombardment still, the navy orders, which again gives you +1 to reserve rolls, or it can give a -1 penalty to all reserve rolls. Interestingly, the modifiers are cumulative, so if you have lots of officers of the fleet, you can put a lot of -1 penalties on your opponent. That's really cool. Astropaths, they use telepathy. Tank commanders are taken for an upgrade of a tank. They have their own tank orders, where you can let the heavy tanks move 6 + d6 inches as they move flat out. The gunners kill on sight. This lets the tank commander shoot at a separate target from the others in his unit. Quite cool if you have a tank commander with a tank commander maybe in a vanquisher, so he's an anti-tank tank commander, which would be good with his ballistic skill 4. But then the 2 others have got battle cannons. You might want them shooting at basic units, so you can actually split fire. So that really gets your money out of your points worth out of the tanks. Strike and Shroud, you get shooting attack, and then everyone gets to fire their smoke launchers. It's kind of cool for the first turn. Commissars, okay, so the Commissars, Lord Commissar is still in it. The Lord Commissar can only be a warlord if you have no other senior officers. Summary execution, okay, so you execute one of the guard models on a 3+, you choose. On a 1 or a 2, your opponent chooses. So that's a bit of a double-edged sword there. Regimental specialist priests. We've seen priests in the Inquisitor book and the Sisters of Battle book. They get 3 abilities. The Emperor Protects, which gives them reroll all failed armor saves and invulnerable saves for him and the unit. For him and the unit only in the fight phase. The Emperor's Strength, which gives you the Smash special rule, so doubles his strength, making him strength 6. And the Righteousness of the Empire, where he can reroll all failed rolls to wounds until the end of the phase. Primaris Psychers, just small psychic characters. They can choose from Biomancy, Divination, Pyromancy and Telekinesis. Engine Seers you can use to restore hull points and weapon destroyed and immobilised to vehicles that have lost those in the game by being in base-to-base contact. It's in the shooting phase, so you can move to the vehicle, touch it, roll a dice. You roll a d6, and on 5 or more, they heal a hull point. You get +1 for each servitor. And this could be quite good if you had engine seers. I think you can have plenty of them in your army. You have those with allied Imperial Knights. I think that's going to be quite a cool combination. Servitors, they're the same as any other army list. Right, infantry squad. So this is the standard infantry. You can still combine. You can have the infantry squad, special weapon squad, heavy weapon squad, and conscripts. All the different types. Doesn't seem to be a great change here looking at it. Obviously, as I said earlier, the heavy weapon teams, they're now bulky and they're a combined unit. I think conscripts have gone down in points. Veterans, you still have... Okay, you don't seem to have... I think later on you have the 3 different types, the grenadiers and things, but I think that's in the army list. You've got Sergeant Harker. Sergeant Harker, he's still got his payback, the heavy bolter, that's strength 5, AB 4, heavy 3, rending. He's relentless. Now the cool thing about relentless is you give relentless to the whole unit, so his whole veteran unit will have relentless. So if you pile up the heavy weapons in there, you could be quite cool. Militarum Tempestus, these are the new stormtroopers. Obviously really nice new models. These guys get access to the Toyz Prime. Yeah, other than that, I think they're fairly similar. I'm just having a quick look. I think they're fairly similar to the stormtroopers, the last version, really. Although they can now have orders, and you can take them as platoons. So you have a command squad, and then you can have up to 3 scions as well, scion squads. Chimeras are amphibious still. Still take 12 models. They have lasgun arrays, so they can fire. Troops on board have a there's an access, sorry, not an access point. There is a firing point that 2 men can shoot out of. Heavy weapon teams just count as 1 man, so 2 heavy weapon teams can fire out of it. Then you can also fire the lasguns. There's 3 on each side, and they can fire regardless of how far the Chimera's moved. But they use the Chimera's ballistic skill and their lasguns. But still, it's kind of cool. Also, an officer embarked on a Chimera can give orders from the Chimera, from within it. Taurox, this is the new APC. I have to admit, the model's yet to grow on me. It's a light Rhino, but it has a twin-linked autocannon, so it packs one hell of a punch there. The Toyz Prime is the one that the stormtroopers use. The Tempestus, the Militarum Tempestus, ballistic skill 4 rather than 3. 3 helmet points, front armor 11, strength 10, rear armor 10. Faster than a transport vehicle. It's an all-terrain APC, so it re-rolls dangerous terrain tests. And this one has a Taurox battle cannon and a twin-linked hotshot volley gun. Right, Weird Vein Psychers. This is a squad of Brotherhood of the Psychers. They now choose the Psychers from generate their powers from biomancy, divination, pyromancy, and telekinesis. And you have a squad of them. Their stat line is mediocre. I guess they're guardsmen, but with weapon skill 2, strength 2. But of course, if you get biomancy, they could become a lot tougher. Pyromancy, they'll be shooting flames all over the table. They're pretty cool, and they're about 60 points a unit for 5 men, so they're kind of easy to fit into a guard army. Ratlings look pretty much the same. They do have an ability Shoot Sharp and Scarper, where they can make a shooting attack and then run in the same shooting phase. So sort of a slightly dumbed down battle focus like the Eldar have. Ogryns. Now we've seen Ogryns are pretty much more of the same. We've seen those before. Then they get Hammer of Wrath. So when they charge in, that's an additional strength 5 hit. That's quite cool. And then Bulgryns. Bulgryns are armed with the same... they're armed with Carapace armour, so they've got 4+ rather than 5+ save. They then have either a Grenadier Gauntlet, which I'm not sure what that is, but a Slab Shield. A Slab Shield is the large shield you've seen that provides them with a... I think it makes them harder to hit, but it also makes the unit behind them gets a +1 cover save as well. Alternatively, they can have a power maul and I can't remember what it's called, but it's a slam shield or something. It's like it adds to their Hammer of Wrath attack. More on that later. Rough Riders, more of the same. Sentinels. Leman Russ battle tanks. So Leman Russ battle tanks are all heavy vehicles, which means they can't go flat out, but they can fire all their weapons at their normal ballistic skill. It's the same types that you've seen before. So the battle cannon, strength 8, AP3, ordnance, large blast. The Exterminator has all the autocannons. The Vanquisher, I can't make my mind if I like it. It's a single shot, it's not a blast weapon. So really, it's Ballistic Skill 3, it's going to hit on 4s, but when it does hit, Strength 8, AP 2, Armor Bane. So that's Strength 8 plus 2d6. So potentially that could kill a lot of Land Raiders, you know, just straight out. But there's a lot of super heavy vehicles around now. Certainly against Knights and things, you're going to do a 1 hull point. If you're lucky, you'll get an explosion and a chain reaction, but it's only a 50% chance of even hitting. So I'm not hugely taken with that. The Eradicator I've never really seen. Numerous Demolisher, Strength 10, AP 1, 24-inch range, that'll be brilliant. The Punisher, that's Heavy 20, Strength 5. That's pretty amazing. And then the Lehman Russ Executioner, which is the Strength 3, the 3-shot Strength 7 AP2 Blast. Valkyries and Vendettas, pretty much the same. The points have gone up on Vendettas. The carrying capacity is also down on the Vendetta to 6 models rather than 12, so you can no longer just pile veteran squads in there. Hydras, Strength 12, Strength 10, they're open topped now, but I believe you can buy a shelter for a cover for them to stop them being open topped. They get 2 twin linked Hydra autocannons. Hydra autocannons have Skyfire, they don't have Intercept, so because they've got Skyfire, they don't get the choice of firing Skyfire. They will shoot aircraft as normal and fast skimmers. They will not, they'll need 6s, they'll fire snapshots at any ground targets. So Hydras aren't a great choice, I don't think, at the moment. But I say that's my opinion, and I'm just having a very quick talk through. Basilisks, open topped again, Earthshaken Cannon. I've not seen the stats for that. I'm assuming it's Strength 8, AP 3, Large Blast like it was before. Wyverns, he's one of the new choices. He's got Storm Shard Mortars, 2 twin link Storm Shard Mortars. Other than that, they're the same as a Hydra or a Basilisk. Okay, Manticores don't look like they've changed. Death Strikes are more or less the same. They fire on a 4, you get +1 for each turn they haven't moved. If you roll more than 4, they can fire their Death Strike missile, which is Strength 10, AP 1, and it uses the 5-inch Apocalypse template. So ignores cover, it's pretty devastating. Okay, Hellhounds, you've got 3 Hellhounds there. The basic Hellhound that fires a flame template, torrenting flame template. Devil Dog that fires Melter Cannon, which is Strength 8, AP 1, Blast, I can't remember the range. And a Bane Wolf that fires a Chem Cannon, which I think is poisoned on 2+. So let's have a look. We've got Yarrick. Yarrick's got he's got his Bale Eye, which is just a small pistol that you can fire in addition to any other weapon. Strength 3, but it's AP 3. That's kind of cool. His power field now just gives him a 4+ invulnerable save. We've seen in various editions kind of complicated rules where the strength of the weapon is reduced by a dice roll, things like that. He's got Eternal Warrior, Preferred Enemy Orcs, there's no surprise there. All of the Commissar rules, but he's a senior officer, so he can be your Warlord. If you take him as your Warlord, he has Draconian Discipline. Draconian Discipline is you don't take morale checks if you win 12 inches for taking 25% casualties. And his Iron Will. If he loses his last wound, this is the cool bit I guess, if he loses his last wound, place him on his side, on a 3+, he gains a wound. And it looks like you can do that again and again and again, so only on a 1 or 2 will he die, so he can really keep fighting, so that's fantastic. Castellan Creed, he gets 2 Warlord traits instead of 1, then can issue 3 orders a turn. Failed orders, he gets to re-roll them as well. And it looks like he automatically passes his Lookout Sir rule there. Sorry, that's Kel. Kel lets you re-roll the leadership tests. And he also he's the one who he can take the wounds for Castellan Creed. Right, Ironhand Strachan, Implacable Determination. I can't remember what that one was. That's his Warlord trait, which is he's got Relentless. So everyone in his unit has relentless as well. I guess he comes as part of a command squad. He'll probably be an upgrade, so you won't be able to kind of put him with a cheeky heavy weapon squad. He must always issue and accept a challenge whenever possible. Strength 6, toughness 4, plasma pistol, shotgun, close combat weapon, refractor field. Yeah, so he could do with some sort of rending or something like that if he's going to go around getting into loads of challenges, I guess. So I think you'll have to be careful if you're playing with him. Make sure you don't lose him too quickly. But he should be good for beating up other guard. Naught Dead Dog. He has an ability where if he loses his last wound in close combat, he can immediately get all of his attacks again, even if he's already fought. And he can have a headbutt, which gives him +3 strength, AP 3, melee. It's a melee weapon and it's concussive. Knight Commander Pask. So Pask is a tank commander. He you add him to a tank. He gives it ballistic skill 4. Then he also gives it special rules. So his warlord trait is Old Grudges. This gives him preferred enemy and everyone else in his unit. He then has special rules depending on the Leman Russ he's in. So he's got crack shot, so he can re-roll armor penetration rolls against vehicles, including glancing or penetrating hits, but he must keep the second roll. And then depending on the type of tank, he gets an ability. So when firing a battle cannon, vanquish a battle cannon, demolish a siege cannon, or eradicate a nova cannon, he can re-roll to hit rolls. It's quite cool because that makes the vanquish a battle cannon likely to hit. The other one's blast templates. An exterminator autocannon or punisher Gatling cannon fired by him has a rending special rule. Now, the autocannon is twin linked on the exterminator, so it's on the exterminator. So that's strength 7, AP 4, and that fires. I think it's 2 of them, so I think it's 4 shots, but it's twin linked, and then it'll have rending. The punisher Gatling cannon is 20 shots. A ballistic skill 4. He'll get to reroll once because he'll have preferred enemy because of his warlord trait. Then he gets rending on the shots that hit. So he should miss, what, a third of them will miss, but then he'll re-roll those. So he'll probably be getting 15, 16 hits at rending strength 5. So he's quite the infantry killer there. And then the executioner plasma cannon, rather than firing the 3 shots he normally can, he can overcharge it, which gets hot, but it becomes strength 7, AP 2, large blast, and with a blind rule as well. Right, weapons. What's changed? The chem cannon is poison 2 plus AP 3. That's the Devil Dog's weapon. Death Strike missile, strength 10, AP 1, ordnance 1, 12-inch minimum range but unlimited. Uses the 10-inch blast marker. So I think that's the big one from the Apocalypse. Everything else is fairly similar to the older one. Sorry, I'm deliberately not being too in depth with this, just to speed through it. Although I say that, and now 23 minutes in. They Punisher Gatling cannon, strength 5, heavy 20, awesome. Ogrins, they have strength 5, assault 3 weapon. The Taurox battle cannon, that's a strength 7, AP 4 blast weapon. So pretty similar to an autocannon there, a blast autocannon, I guess. Their Gatling cannon that you can give them, strength 4, heavy 10. The Taurox Prime is ballistic skill 4, so that's a lot of shots. It can also have a Taurox missile launcher that looks a lot like a Typhoon missile launcher there, with strength 8, AP 3, heavy 2, or strength 4, AP 6, heavy 2, blast. Where's the hot shot? What's the hot shot volley gun? Here we go, the hot shot volley gun, salvo 2, 4, so if it stands still it can fire 4 shots, 24-inch range, strength 4, AP 3. Okay, so that's good. I think it's twin linked as well. Hunting lances, not much has changed there, just the wording. It's one use only, then it becomes a close combat weapon. The Brute Shield, this is the other weapon that Ogrins can have, the Bulgarins. The Brute Shield is 5 plus invulnerable save, and then he re-rolls to wounds rolls when using a Hammer of Wrath hits. Medipacks, camo gear, so there's lots of little options here. Slab Shield is the other thing the Bulgarins have, this is the big thing. If a model is in base to base with 1 or more, so very much like that Dark Angels, the Dark Angel Knights, who when they're in base to base they get +1 toughness. If these guys are in base to base, this gives +1 to its armor save, making them 3+. Yeah, it's 1 or more, so it's just a +1. So they get a 3+ save, but then other models that are obscured will get a +1 to their cover save. Three different types of armour. Vehicle equipment. Camo netting gives you 1 point better cover save than normal, so that's a bit more useful than before. That'd be quite cool for conversions. You've then got six special pieces of equipment. They seem to affect the command rolls. You've then got a pistol that's strength 5, AP4, precision shot, mastercrafted. Death mask that gives you 4+ invulnerable save and it will not die in fear, special rules. And then the blade of conquest, which is strength +1, AP3, melee, mastercrafted. So a glorified power weapon there. Right, a few coloured, well, lots of coloured pictures. Okay, most of these I think we've seen before, but there's a good selection. There's the old Taurox. All the different Leman Russ variants, the new Tempestus Scions, new Ogryn models. There's the new Wyvern. Okay, and the army list. I'm not too up on the points. I'm not really a Guard player, to be honest. They're one of those races that I'm really glad that they're in the background, and I'm really glad other people want to play them. But for me, they just don't really do anything. Although the books are cool, you know. I enjoyed what was it, 15 Hours, and all the Gaunt's Ghost novels. I think are rather fantastic. So yeah, I don't know the Codex well enough to talk about the points. Hopefully you can see them here. Engine Seer is only 40 points each. It's rather good for something that brings back hull points. You can have 3 of those per HQ choice. And your Tank Commander, he's only 30 points on top of a normal tank. Pask is a further 40 points, so he's 70 points on top of that. Commissars, 25 points. Lord Commissar, 65 points. They seem quite cheap. Platoon Command Squad, 30 points. Infantry Squad, 50 points. Conscripts are 60 points for 20 men. So I believe they are, in fact, they are 3 points extra for the extra men. So they've gone down from 4 points. I know that one. There's your Taurox is just 50 points. And your Taurox Prime is 80 points. So given that the Taurox has got a twin-linked autocannon for 50 points, I know it's strength armor 11 at the front, 10 on the sides, 10 on the rear. It's slower. It's lighter armed than a Rhino, but only just. It's like a kind of compromise between a Rhino and a Chimera. But at 50 points with a twin-linked autocannon, I think that's fantastic. Ogryn's 130 points for 3. Bulgrin's 145 points for 3. Seem quite expensive for what they do, but then they've always seemed quite special. I always think they're very good on paper, strength 5, toughness 5, but then you start playing with them and they just never quite seem to work. Ratling's 30 points for 10. It could be a bit of fun. Just infiltrate them forward to annoy people. Wordvane Psychers, 60 points. I guess a lot of that's going to depend on what psychic power they get. The Tempestus Platoon, so you can have 1 to 3 squads of normal Tempestus Scions, but then you can add a command squad, and if you want, so you can, if you like, start fielding those as platoons. Fast attack pretty much stays the same. Vendettas have gone up to 170 points when they used to be 130. Plus they've got the reduced transport capacity, so I imagine we'll see less of those, but they are a lot better with the flyer rules. Heavy support, Leman Russes you can have in mixed units. They all come with a heavy bolter plus whatever gun goes with them as standard, and then they range from 120 points for an Eradicator up to 170 points for a Demolisher. Hydra Battery 70 points each. Basilisk 70 points. So that's 70 points for 1. Then you can buy up to 3. Same with the Basilisk, you can have 1 up to 3. Wyverns, Wyverns, you can have 1 to 3. Manticores, you take as single ones. Death Strikes, take as single. Manticore's 170 points. Death Strikes 160 points. Okay, and I'll just have a. Well, that's pretty much it. Then you got the old rules summary that folds out. Right. Okay, so that is the new Guard Codex. That was a the Astra Militarum Codex. Thank you for putting up with that. I say it's been a very quick review for me. Just the opportunity came up when I borrowed this to go through it. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope that gives you some insights, and I hope I haven't bored you too much. If you enjoyed that, we're doing more videos all the time, as we can. There's also our Facebook page, and then there's the website toyzandhood.com, where we also happen to do a whole range of t-shirts, which are rather nice. So hopefully I'll see you around. Thanks for taking the time to watch this. Cheers.